motivation behind writing it was basically obedience. It was something I felt like I was called to do, and even though I had no idea how to do it or why I should be doing it, I just felt like God had called me to write this book, to reach out to people that are in the business place and kind of give them some practical principles for living out their faith at work. One of the best things about writing a book is when you get an email from somebody that you have no idea who they are and they tell you what an impact it made on their life. I've had people say that they're actually pursuing that vision in their company, but the best ones are when people tell me that from reading the book they've grown closer to the Lord, or I've had people say that they've accepted Christ because they picked up the book, and that's where you see that I indeed was called to do this because God wanted to do work through it, not just what I thought it needed to do, but that He had some serious work to do with it. Well, first and foremost, the book was initially written so that it could inspire people to live their faith at work. And I know that pastors kind of, their sermons are really directed at how do you live your life, but there aren't that many that are directed completely at your life at work. And the book really points Scripture, God's principles towards how do we live our faith walk, specifically at work, but also at life. So just that whole concept of helping people. I think there's a lot of people that want to live their faith at work, and they're saying, how do I do it? My work environment isn't exactly the proper environment for this, but Shine helps you understand how you can shine in any environment, how you can show the love of Christ no matter what your environment is. But then secondly, with this whole situation with Grayson's health and her, the storm we walked through, it's just that whole concept of having that strength and that peace that you need to make it through whatever it is you're going through, that you can no matter what you're facing, trusting in God is the answer. And there are a lot of people facing a lot of tough things right now, and having a 9-year-old daughter go through a heart transplant is a pretty big storm, and the way we made it through is through trust in Him, and realizing that I like to say sometimes we don't understand that Jesus is all we need until we realize that Jesus is all we've got. And when we get to that point of realizing that Jesus is all we've got, that's when true faith comes to the forefront, and that's when our light really shines. Well, there's so much of a tie-in. I was really wondering, what does God want me to do with this after I first wrote it? We had a couple Bible studies at churches that were successful, and, even though they were successful, I didn't know that was where God was leading me. And then when Grayson had her health situation and we walked through that time, it just became clear that there was such an awesome tie-in to the message of Shine and how it can carry someone through a tough time, through a storm. And just that opportunity to share that is where we feel we need to be. When you've been given a gift like we have, I feel we don't have any option but to share. And I'm just hoping that, through our sharing our story and what we've been through, that others will be inspired. It'll help them walk through tough times, or it'll help them live their faith at work, whatever that is, that God would work in and through them, and that they can have confidence and know that He does that He wants to do that, and that He does do it all the time in all walks of life.